I'm just gonna just gonna say one small thing about her and get her up here, and that's that she says, drawing from her personal story as well as her visits with teens around the nation, Pam talks about the consequences, both physical and emotional, of sex outside marriage. It's been her experience that if given the facts, today's young people are fully capable of making good, healthy decisions. Amen? Amen. Amen. And I present to you Pam Stenzel.
Thanks, Gary. It is so great to be here at Ave and to be with you today on this important occasion. I've had the privilege of speaking at Donahue Academy to those amazing students and just love that, and also at the university to students there. But today what we want to focus on is life, and certainly the core issue of life is how life begins, and the fact that if we don't honor God in the choices we make by treating each other with the dignity with which we were created in His image, and we don't give sex its proper place, the end result of that is 63 million dead babies. And so the core of this issue is clearly honoring God in those choices at the beginning. I started working in pregnancy clinics in Minneapolis, and then when I moved out of Siberia to come to warm, balmy Florida, which is what we do when we're old and we're grandparents. So I've become a true Floridian because I have a jacket on. When we did the March for Life in Minneapolis, it was negative 30. We did it, so there you go. But I've been involved when I moved here with community pregnancy clinics. You'll see one of our mobile clinics at the end. We operate 4 brick and mortar clinics, 2 mobile clinics. We're in Naples, Fort Myers, Sarasota, and I've been working most closely these last 2 years with our new clinic up in Gainesville, across from the football stadium at the University of Florida. So it's been an amazing work to be on that campus, and that's really what I call the epicenter of who we need to reach and why we need to be a voice for life. In the state of Florida, per county, if we go by live births, how many abortions happen per live birth, there are 2 counties that are the highest in our state. The first county is Leon County, which is Tallahassee, which is Florida State University. Number 2 is Alachua County, which is Gainesville, which is the University of Florida. The target or the epicenter of these issues, especially obtaining abortion, is 15 to 24-year-olds, and probably the biggest is our university campuses. And that's why it's so important that we have a voice and a presence on our campuses, both high school and university, which is why I'm so grateful for Students for Life, for Ave for Life, for the Donahue Pro-Life Club. These are the voices of their peers bringing truth exactly where it needs to be given, and that is to those most vulnerable for abortion. And so we're thrilled with what they're doing. And one of our hopes and prayers is that pregnancy clinics, while we offer free pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, we're doing STI testing as well. We're offering these services free to women in order to let them know that they do have a choice. That the world is telling them their only choice is to abort their child. The world is trying to get them to do it quickly and out of fear. What we're doing is offering hope, help, and love to these women to let them know that they are strong enough, that they can have the courage to do the right thing and give their child life, whether they choose to parent or whether they choose to place that child for adoption. And sometimes all these women need is just a voice that says, we're here for you. We're going to be there for you. We're going to walk alongside you. Sometimes that's the voice of one of their peers on campus. Sometimes it's that voice of that sidewalk counselor standing outside that clinic, that last line of defense, offering help and hope to a woman in crisis. Sometimes it's our nurses and our staff in our mobile medical clinics, in our clinics and pregnancy resource centers across this country, also answering those hotlines. Sometimes it's the voice of a neighbor, someone from their church. Sometimes it's your voice is all it would take for a young woman to say, you know what, I can do this. I can give life to my child, and in doing that, bring life to myself and my future. That's why all of our voices are so desperately important. Very quickly, we have a few things to be thankful for here in the Diocese of Venice. One is, probably the biggest thankful thing that I'm most thankful for, is that we have had 2 abortion clinics close in the last year. And abortionists put out of business, hopefully retiring. One was in Port Charlotte, and that abortion clinic is done. Dr. Azima is finished butchering women there. And most recently, Women's Health Center, which was anything but that, in Fort Myers, and hopefully Dr. Betancourt is now retiring. And we can be grateful to that. Many of you have prayed, many of you have been involved. We've had our mobile clinic right outside both of those clinics when they were operating to attempt to be that voice on the front lines. But we can be grateful that really because of our persistence in the pro-life community, that we have 2 less abortion facilities in our diocese, and that's a positive thing. The other, this isn't a positive thing. I should have not prefaced that. The other thing I want you to be made aware of, that it's the front line of our battle, is that the abortion industry has decided to really move into promoting chemical abortion. Right now, close to over 50% of all first trimester abortions are now performed chemically with medication. A woman goes into the clinic, she takes that first drug, it basically starves and poisons the baby to kill it, and she's instructed 24 to 48 hours to take the second medication that will cause her to go into labor and deliver a dead baby. The problem with this horrific procedure is that the abortion industry is calling it do-it-yourself abortions and making it seem as though you can just take a simple pill and it's no big deal and now you will be pregnant. And what's happening is young women are buying those lies and they're going home hemorrhaging, bleeding, and actually seeing their unborn child in toilets, in bottom of showers, in bed sheets, and it's been horribly traumatizing. And there's no one there to help them. It's a horrific thing. So there's a few things that we have to do as a pro-life movement. Just recently, the FDA released its REMS. Up until COVID, it was required that a woman see an abortionist, see a physician, and receive that first medication in office. There's a reason for this. We need to know how far along she is. This is only supposed to be done between the 6th and 10th week. Otherwise, it's horribly dangerous, and we need to make sure pregnancy is an ectopic. It is desperately important that a woman actually see a physician. COVID restrictions allowed these doctors to give this medication via the mail without ever seeing or confirming a pregnancy viability or the age of the baby involved. And this is horribly dangerous. But what they're trying to do is to be able to remove the abortion from the clinic and to literally send these poisonous drugs directly to women in their dorms, in their homes, and kill their baby alone. It is so horribly dangerous. So one of the things that we need to be doing is we need to be educating women about this, educating them about the dangers of this, And also in our clinics, we offer abortion pill rescue. There is a protocol by which if a woman takes that first medication and regrets her decision and will call us quickly, within a couple of days, that we can reverse that process. We can get progesterone on board and save that baby. We've had 7 babies in Sarasota saved through abortion pill reversal. We've had a few in Gainesville, and one is 30 weeks right now, getting ready to deliver, and we're so excited about that. But you have to know this so that you can be a voice to a woman in crisis. You have to understand this information so that you're ready to be able to tell your peers, to be able to tell your neighbors, your parishioners, the people you care about and love, that this is available to them. First, we would rather they never even took that step, but if they did and regretted that decision, we could still save that child's life. As Bishop Dwayne aptly said, it's exciting to see all the students here and the young people, but many of us, and I will include myself in that, are not students. We're older. We're grandparents. We've been involved a long time, but most of us have gotten involved in being a voice for life for very personal reasons. 56 years ago in Michigan, a young 15-year-old girl became pregnant, had a lot of difficult choices to make. Maybe more so than some teen girls, she was raped. But this 15-year-old girl chose to give her child life and then to place that child with an adoptive family. And that child was me. My biological father is a rapist. I don't even know my ethnicity, but I am still a human being, and I still have value, and my life isn't worth less than yours simply because of the way I was conceived. And I did not deserve the death penalty for the crime of my biological father. And I've listened to the rhetoric my whole life. Listen to people say every child should be wanted and planned. I've heard this said in the church. Well, I wouldn't have an abortion. I wouldn't kill my baby. But if it were rape, you're a mistake, Pam. I don't believe that. I believe that every child is wanted by someone, and I believe that God in His mercy had a plan for me. My birth mother is my hero. She not only gave me my life, she gave me an amazing family. I'm the oldest of 8 children, 7 of us adopted. Every color of the rainbow in my family. We're the United Nations by ourselves. But you know what? I've spent my life working with women in crisis pregnancies because I firmly believe what my 15-year-old birth mother needed in her moment of pain and crisis was not to have me ripped violently from her womb, not to repay violence with violence. She needed someone to love her. She needed someone to come alongside her. Someone to say, we'll be there for you. You're not alone. And together, we can bring hope in this situation. That is what God is calling us to do. To walk alongside women and men in crisis and to be Jesus with our hands and feet to them. You probably heard it say, preach the gospel everywhere, and if necessary, use words. Your life is as important as the words you say. So let's commit to live the gospel of life, to preach the gospel of life, and to continue to honor God as we speak for the voiceless. One last word of encouragement. And this is a quote from Mother Teresa that I've carried with me in 30 years of ministry. Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta said this: God did not call us to be successful. He called us to be faithful. So whatever the end of this is, my only goal is to run into the arms of Jesus and hear him say someday, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Let's be faithful to him. God bless.
Well, that ends our speakers, but once again, I'd like to thank